And no pleading, no bargaining, just as with dogs. People will bargain and talk to their dogs and all sorts of things. And dogs do understand an element of English when they hear things repeated over and over again. But the bargaining, you lose them within about the first 4 words. And it's the same with your children. And this is where children tune us out. Have you noticed that children, by and large, ignore you, even if they have no reason to ignore you? I will say hello to the children on the street. It's rare that a child will say hello to me back, even if I'm being friendly. Every now and then they're just really preoccupied doing their thing, you know, and it's kind of cute, and they're just so focused. But generally, that's not the case at all. They've learned to tune us out, and that's why. Okay, now we get a little bit heavier here. With the dog, if all of that doesn't work, then you make a bite or a mouth with your hand, and under his chin in here, which is the area of submission on a dog, you take and go like this right here. No. And that's a really great way to redirect the energy or the attention of the dog back on you if you don't have a slip leash on him. If you have a slip leash on him, use that. Just pick it up, and very often he just needs to be kind of snapped out of it, and that works really well. Now here's where this really differs for children. We have a joke, and I never have said it one time, but when I tell when we go in for a session, a behavioral help for dogs session, we're working with our clients, they'll get this. They'll pick this parallel up fairly soon into the session, and they'll say, you know, this is very much like we could train our kids this way, couldn't we? And I'll say, well, yeah, I totally endorse that, and I teach and promote that. Very much so. You'll do real well with your children once you grasp this and start applying it to your dog, minus the collar and leash. And they think for a minute and go, no, the collar and leash would be very helpful, actually. So, and I'll say, you said it, not me. So we joke about that. But since you can't do this to your child, and obviously put a collar and a leash on him, and we're not talking about anything of the kind here, what I would like to suggest, there's the timeout. You know, there's the timeout. Those are very, very helpful. They're very healthy, and I think more adults would do well with timeouts. In our family, when we need to take a timeout, there's one rule. If you have to go away, if you have to get in the car and go away, if it's that red flag of a situation, which it usually isn't here, our rule is you tell everybody, I need a serious timeout. I'm going to go away, but I will be back probably in an hour or so. That way we don't worry and wonder, you know, where they've gone. So be respectful with your timeouts. But a timeout is a very healthy thing for a child. However, it is not up in the category of corporal discipline. So timeouts are great. Holding time. Now when you make that bite on the dog, one thing that would also equal that would be holding time. Holding time consists of, I have a friend that called it mommy jail, although I don't really like the word jail because it just equates bondage. But holding time is really literally taking a child who's having a tantrum, and you know 22-year-olds have tantrums now. I wouldn't recommend getting real close to them when they're having one because you could get hurt. But when you can control the child, scoop them up and just hold them real, real tight. And you just tell them, you know what? I'm here. It's going to be okay. And I'm not letting go until we both feel better. And you know what? That could take a while. So holding time is very, very effective. It just helps them settle down and get control. Just the way putting a slip collar on a dog, sometimes just putting the slip leash on a dog settles them right down. You might remember Pearl in that show, the beautiful Sheltie. Her owner told us, and we did it right there on the show, that when she gets to be pacing and nervous, she'll just, the dog that is, Louise, the owner, just puts the slip collar on her and she settles right down. So sometimes this can be your slip collar for your child, right here. Puts them close to the heart. You're not giving them affection during this time. This is not a time of affection. This is just a time that says, we're going to get through this, and I'm not going to let go until you can stop being destructive and be respectful. Now, the dominance ritual. We're showing you this on today's program because I've spoke of it so many times. We wanted you to actually see the things that we do. And that, of course, is putting the dog down on his side. Sometimes it takes two people, one for the front, one for the back legs. Every now and then I'll have to straddle the dog, not sit on him. You know, I'll hold myself up a little bit so I'm not going to crack a rib. But whatever it takes to keep that dog down. Now that is what I call go to guns. That's the bottom line. That's the last thing we have. And you know, it just works great. It settles them down. It is nothing like dominance ritual to really redirect that attention, show them you mean business, and so forth.